Hello children, this is second topic from life processes, that is respiration. You have done nutrition and this is second is respiration. So all of us know in day-to-day life or in a layman's language, we think respiration is taking up oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, or we can say inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide is respiration. But it is not 100% correct. It is not true absolutely, although partially it is true. So it is breathing. So the breathing is taking up of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide. This is breathing, not exactly respiration, but it is related to respiration. In scientific terms, two type of respiration is there. First is known as biophysiological. Biophysiological respiration, and second is biochemical respiration. Biochemical respiration. So what is biophysiological? It is breathing which we are talking about. Biophysiological is breathing wherein we get in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. This is physiological respiration, and the process of this respiration and in human beings we will talk about later. First we will talk about biochemical respiration. What is biochemical? It is also known as cellular respiration. Why cellular? Because it takes place inside the cell. Biochemical, why the name biochemical? Because a number of biochemical reactions takes place. What do we do in respiration? In respiration, the food particles or the glucose, it is oxidized into carbon dioxide and water with the help of oxygen. In normal aerobic respiration, oxygen, it oxidizes glucose into carbon dioxide and water. This is respiration. So a number of biochemical reactions takes place for oxidation of glucose. That's why it is known as biochemical respiration, and the other name cellular respiration because it takes place inside the cell of living organism. So this is respiration in brief. Now, depending upon the presence or absence of oxygen, respiration may be of two types. One is, all of you know, aerobic respiration. Aerobic means when oxygen is present. When oxygen is present, it is known as aerobic respiration, and when oxygen is absent, it is known as anaerobic respiration. So, two types. One in the presence of oxygen, aerobic; in the absence of oxygen, anaerobic. Anaerobic again can be divided into two. One in yeast, it is known as yeast fermentation, and second in muscle cell. Any muscle cell, this respiration anaerobic in absence of oxygen can take place, then it is anaerobic or muscle fermentation, and it is in yeast fermentation, so it is anaerobic. We will talk about anaerobic later. First we will talk about what is aerobic respiration or how glucose is fermented into carbon dioxide and water in presence of oxygen. So the overall equation of aerobic respiration, you should write down the overall equation. It is glucose is C6H12O6, all of you know, plus 6 molecules of oxygen it will give rise 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O plus, it is very important, 38 molecules of ATP. What is ATP? ATP is energy currency of cell, adenosine triphosphate. All of you know, we have studied it in nutrition, the first topic, nutrition. So 38 molecules of ATP are formed when one molecule of glucose is oxidized. It will form carbon dioxide and water, and 38 ATP are formed, the energy currency of cell. And this ATP is used for all the functions of cell. All the metabolic, anabolic, every function, this energy currency is used in the cell, which is formed by cellular respiration. Now this is the overall equation, and now this complete oxidation of glucose, it is not in one step. It takes 4 steps for completely oxidize a single glucose molecule. From where this glucose is coming? This glucose is formed by the plants during photosynthesis, and we take, or all the animals, they take this ready-made food from the plant in the form of different foods, eating different foods in the form of nutrients, and even lipids and fats and proteins, they are also taken, and this glucose molecule enter in the cell through not simply by simple diffusion. It enters, because it is a big molecule, it enters by facilitated diffusion by the proteins which are present in the plasma membrane. From these proteins, this glucose molecule enter the cell. So if this is cell, so what happens? This is mitochondria. In cell, mitochondria are present, and this is the cytoplasm of cell. So this glucose molecule, it enters in the cell through this plasma membrane, and not by simple diffusion but by protein channels. The proteins which are present inside the plasma membrane, through this, with the by consuming some energy, this is known as facilitated diffusion. By facilitated diffusion, this glucose enters the cell. So first of all, this is cytoplasm. The first reaction takes place in cytoplasm. These are the 4 steps by which one glucose converts into carbon dioxide and water. First is known as glycolysis. Second is, this is oxidation. Second is oxidation of pyruvate. Third is Krebs cycle. Krebs is the name of the scientist. So after his name, Krebs cycle, or it is also known as TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle. So this is the third step. And fourth and most important step is electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. So we will discuss all the 4 one by one. Now the first is glycolysis. Glycolysis, as the name indicates, glyco means sugar or glucose, and lysis, all of you know, is breaking down. So first of all, when this glucose molecule enter the cell in the cytoplasm, this glycolysis takes place in cytoplasm of the cell, and all the other 3, they take place in mitochondria. So glycolysis in cytoplasm, it takes place. The sugar, the glucose molecule enters and it is broken down. Glycolysis, it is broken down, and what is formed? 2 molecules of pyruvate. Pyruvate are formed. So what happened? Glucose is 6 carbon compound. All of you know, glucose is 6 carbon compound, C6. So 6 atoms of carbons are present. It is a 6 carbon compound. It converts by glycolysis into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound. One pyruvate is 3 carbon compound. So by one glucose, 3 carbon compound are formed, and that is pyruvate. Pyruvate is formed in cytoplasm of the cell, and it is a 3 carbon compound, and 2 molecules are formed by one glucose. Now this pyruvate, further biochemical reaction takes place, and this pyruvate changes into other. In glycolysis, 2 molecules of ATP are formed. A small energy is produced, although 4 are produced, but 2 are consumed, and the net result is 2 ATP molecules are, the cell gets 2 ATP molecules in glycolysis. This is energy. Now the next step is, when this pyruvate is formed, this pyruvate, before entering the mitochondria. Now this pyruvate will enter the mitochondria for further reactions, but before entering the mitochondria, oxidation of this pyruvate takes place, and it is also known as link reaction. What it is linking? It is linking glycolysis with Krebs cycle. So it is a link reaction, and oxidation of pyruvate is also takes place outside, and by oxidation carbon dioxide is formed and water is formed. So by oxidation of pyruvate, one single carbon dioxide is formed, and it is 3 carbon. So, and a 2 carbon compound is also formed. 3, 1 is formed, 1 carbon is used in carbon dioxide, 2 are left, and a 2 carbon compound is formed, which goes into the Krebs cycle. So this is known as acetyl coenzyme A. It is not in your syllabus in so detail, but a 2 carbon compound is formed, which goes into the Krebs cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle. So this 2 carbon compound, it goes into the mitochondria, and rest, these 2, they takes place in mitochondria. Now what happens in Krebs cycle? It is cycle like this, and number of chemical reactions they take place in this Krebs cycle. Again carbon dioxide is formed, it is released, and then this the chemical from Krebs cycle, they enter the electron transport chain. Proton and electrons, they are released and are taken up, and then ultimately oxidative phosphorylation takes place. In Krebs cycle, 2 ATP are formed again, and now the finally in electron transport chain, it is also abbreviated as ETC, electron transport chain. So electrons from one molecules, they are going to other, from other to other. In this way energy is released, and ultimately oxidative phosphorylation takes place. The oxygen, this oxygen which is to be used in this reaction, it comes here in this 4th step. Here the oxygen comes. These 3 steps can take place without oxygen. This is can take place bilkul without oxygen. These 2 need the presence of oxygen, but oxygen is used in chemical reaction in this 4th, and this oxygen is reduced. It is reduced to H2O. Here this oxygen, because hydrogen is added to oxygen, so it is a reduction reaction. So oxygen is reduced to H2O here in 4th step. And what happened next? What is oxidative phosphorylation? Oxidative means in presence of oxygen. Phosphorylation means addition of phosphate group. Addition of phosphate group is phosphorylation. So whose phosphorylation takes place? ADP. It is ATP, you know, it is adenosine triphosphate. ADP is adenosine diphosphate. In this adenosine diphosphate, one inorganic phosphate, it added, it is joined, and what is formed? ATP, adenosine triphosphate is formed. So this is oxidative phosphorylation of ADP into ATP. So in fourth step, total 34 ATP molecules are formed, which are in large number in comparison to these two steps. So overall aerobic respiration, we have 2 plus 2 plus 34. 38 ATP are formed in aerobic respiration. So in brief, this is overall picture of aerobic respiration. In plants, animals or any living beings, aerobic respiration, it produces 38 ATP molecules, or the energy currency. Now we can have a quick glance of this aerobic respiration in plants, in aquatic animals, and in human beings. So we will discuss this aerobic respiration first in plants. All of you know plants have stomata on the lower side of the leaf and young stem, and through these stomata exchange of gases takes place. Oxygen goes in and carbon dioxide comes out. There are air cavities. We have learned the structure of leaf. So above the stomata some space is there known as air cavities, and then in these air cavities these gases, oxygen or carbon dioxide, they are filled. What happened during daytime when photosynthesis is taking place? All of you know, in photosynthesis carbon dioxide is taken and oxygen is given out. So in daytime in plants, respiration and photosynthesis, they go hand by hand. In respiration carbon dioxide is given out and it is being taken by the plants for photosynthesis, and only oxygen is taken by for respiration. So in daytime no much gases they diffuse by the stomata, but at night when there is no photosynthesis, then oxygen goes in and carbon dioxide goes out. You must have heard that at time we should not sleep or sit under the big trees. Why? Because at night they are giving out carbon dioxide, which is not healthy for our bodies. So in daytime carbon dioxide is taken up for photosynthesis, but at night when photosynthesis is stopped, carbon dioxide is given out. So this is aerobic respiration in plants. All the same steps are being taken in plants. Now in aquatic animals, what happened in aquatic animals or aquatic plants? They take the oxygen which is dissolved in water. In atmosphere the percentage of oxygen is more, but in water the percentage of oxygen is less than the atmosphere. So they have to take dissolved oxygen which is dissolved in water. So in fish etc., their breathing rate is much more than the terrestrial animals or plant, because they have to take dissolved oxygen from water. This is about aquatic animals or plants. Then in human being, the same process takes place in human being, and now we will discuss about the process of respiration in human being, or we can say the physiological process or physiological breathing in human being, how the oxygen is taken in and how the carbon dioxide is taken out. We will discuss this in the next video. Thank you.